Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. We have a lot to talk about. We have the HEX price and the Bitcoin price. HEX and Bitcoin are dumping. Bitcoin is having its biggest downside in a long. We got the Silvergate Bank going out of business, going under, liquidating. That's what people are saying is responsible for this downturn in price. It's probably also got a lot to do with the Fed and the rest of the market dumping as well. But, Silvergate definitely doesn't help. And we got V3 updates, and we're going to talk about Simon Dixon. Simon Dixon blocked me on Twitter because Simon Dixon looked like a dick. So we're going to talk about that. That's a very interesting story. He's been deleting his tweets. He's been saying very bad things about HEX, and he's got caught promoting very bad things like Celsius and acting like he is holier than thou. Simon holier than thou Dixon. Simon Middleman Dixon. So we got a lot to talk about. We have an action-packed show, but thank you guys very much for tuning in. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. What's going on, Bet4? Finesse says Furu Finance and Friends quickly becoming my favorite streamers. There, I said it. Wow, that's amazing. And I actually saw this before I logged on. So I'm like, I have to make Finesse a mod. So I gave Finesse a wrench, and thank you very much. That means a lot coming from you, Finesse. For those who may have not eaten this morning, may I suggest an 8-ounce purple sweet potato walking through plate steel this morning? Yeah, that's good. Hexicans are a pure source of power. Very true. What's going on? Metastaying Hex streamers are the best. True. And Anders Pulse, what's going on? And Bitfinesse says deleting tweets is a bad look. Very bad look. I don't think I've deleted some tweets when I've written them and realized there were grammatical errors or could have been rewritten better. So I quickly delete it and rewrite it if it didn't start getting likes. But yes, it's very bad. And only people that have things to hide usually are the people that delete tweets. And before we get into the chart, just remember that if you have any questions about anything specific on your mind with regard to crypto and things like that, or anything, you can book a free one-on-one with me, Pulsechain, launch preparation, anything crypto related. We do cryptocurrency education. So go book a free one-on-one with me in the description below. Also consider becoming a Patreon. We love our Patreons. Metastaying is a Patreon. Shout out to Metastaying. Metastaying is supporting the channel. It helps me do what I do. And I provide very valuable content in the Patreon. We have courses, weekly meetups, exclusive content. And tomorrow I'm going to make a Patreon video where I talk about my portfolio. You guys can see my portfolio allocation, and you can get updates on my trades. So get in the Patreon and sign up. Link in the description today. But that out of the way, that being said, we got the Bitcoin price. Right now, Bitcoin is not looking too good at 21,492. We were briefly holding this support line over here at 22,000, but we just broke below it. And we had two daily candles confirmed below the support. It's looking like we are going to $20,000 Bitcoin. And it is interesting because I did bring up the bearish divergence right here, right? Higher highs, lower highs. lower highs and higher highs on the chart, higher high, lower high on the RSI. And obviously, it played out exactly as predicted. But it's looking like we have a price target of $20,000 Bitcoin. But we're going to see. And then if we break this trend line, trend line over here, then we are going to be headed for this trend line. Probably. Which would be about 18,000. Break that, then you guys know where we're going. And I'm going to have to bite my tongue and say Richard Hart was right. Hashtag Richard Hart was right. We're going to 11K and pray. But I pray that there's no 11K. So not looking too good. But even if we go down to 20,000, 18,000, it's still a lot more to go for an 11K Bitcoin. And we're very, very far into the bear market. So I still don't think that 11K is going to come. But obviously, Richard Hart has a good track record, and he believes it. And we could always go back on the grayscale discount hitting 11K. So that's it for the Bitcoin price chart. We got the HEX price taking a massive, massive dump. Not that massive. We are down from our local high. We take out our measuring stick. We are down 25.56%. It's pretty big. 25% down. It's looking we could not hold above the support at 7 cents or 6.9 cents. We are headed for maybe 5.3 cents, and hopefully we could hold that. I really think that we are, even if Bitcoin hasn't bottomed, I'm not saying HEX can't go lower, but the bottom's probably in because it pumped so much more. I mean, I guess you could say it could dump so much more, but at the same time, Bitcoin doesn't have an upcoming Pulsechain launch. So let's see. HEX pumped from the local low, 354%. In comparison with Bitcoin, which pumped from the bottom 61%. So combination of that. Well, you could say that HEX dumps more, but because it's an altcoin, but HEX also has a Pulsechain V3 launch coming up and a Pulsechain mainnet launch coming up. So I think anyone that thinks that we're getting under 1.7 cents is making a mistake, in my humble, non-financial advice opinion. So that's really my take on that. And we had Abit on the show yesterday, and he agrees. He agrees that we're not going below 1.7. So I'm in good company with Abit HEX. Shout out to Abit HEX. Go watch the replay. Go watch the replay of the interview I had with him. There are also clips coming out. We made a lot of good clips. Hopefully we will go viral. Next up is Crypto Bubbles. Very red day. The altcoin market is down, except for Clay and XRD and APT and Filecoin and EOS. Where's HEX? This is like Where's Waldo? Finding HEX in Crypto Bubbles. Maybe it's like this one. No, it's Binance USD. Right there, 2.7%. Down 2.7%. And then we got HEX daily stats, which we check HEX daily stats on the daily. We had a 89 increase in current holders, and change in total in current miners is 35. That puts us at an all-time high for current holders and miners. And we're only 600 away from 120,000 current miners. So that's it for the HEX chart and the HEX stats. We got 41 people watching. So if you're enjoying the stream, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. But let's take a look. And Abit is here. What's going on, Abit HEX? He really loved the interview, and he agrees. So shout out to that. But what's going on, Abit? Yeah, so Bet4 says, I really don't care what happens in the market. I got a lot of HEX, but I also have some dry powder left, so I'm good regardless of what happens. Me too. Me too. I got a lot of HEX and I got some dry powder as well, and I just keep dollar cost averaging. And it's been working out very well over the last couple of months because we're up 350%. We hit 350% up from the local bottom. The Schwans of House Donner has entered the chat. Thank you for tuning in, Chad Donner Schwans. We really appreciate you. Next up, we have Ruben, Alex, PulseX, Pulsechain, HEX, Pulse Bitcoin. So he posted something interesting. We could give that a like and a retweet. Thank you for the tweet. But he said, where is HEX in the Wall Street cheat sheet? So, yeah, I'm not so into the Wall Street cheat sheet thing, but it does look like we're at that point. We're at the end. We're in that disbelief where people think it's a suckers rally. And then it's time, right, to go back up for the hope, optimism, euphoria, and everything like that. So it could be that point, or if it doesn't go up, we could say we're just over here. And I remember when we were over here, everyone was saying we were in the disbelief phase. And then here, people, before it topped, people were saying we're going through the disbelief phase. So we really don't know. But this chart also only holds true for good assets. And obviously we believe HEX is, but it can't really be used to get anywhere, because when you are before the top is made, you don't know where you are in this, right? You don't know where you are in the chart. Like, even if you're up here, you could say maybe this is the top, and then it can't really be used for anything. That's the overall point. It cannot be used for anything because you don't see the pattern until it actually prints. But everyone is talking about the Wall Street cheat sheet. So that's that for the Wall Street cheat sheet. Then we got Sami, who's irregular. His tweets are irregular. And I like this. This was Sami tweeting about the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So very recently, the GBTC discount went from minus 49 to minus 34. So the gap closed 5%. 5% close in the gap overnight or whatever. And I like this because you see the gap closing, even though the price isn't, how do I say this? Basically, Richard Hart made it like the bottom isn't in because the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust has to close the gap. So that kind of makes it like, in order for Bitcoin to start going up again, first the gap has to get closed, and then the trust goes, then Bitcoin starts to go up. But it doesn't exactly work that way because, like we see here, the price went up and then the gap started closing. So I think the gap closing will be something that happens as the price goes up. It can easily be something that happens as the price goes up. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, that we have to wait for the gap to close and then the price to go up. And we saw that when Bitcoin was at all-time highs. There was a massive premium and the price kept going up, and then eventually it went down. So the same way the price went up when there was still a premium. the same way people were still buying a premium. How do I say that? How do I phrase it? I had it before, but basically it's not like a box that has to be checked in order for the price to start, in order for Bitcoin to bottom, that kind of thing. And next up is some very good news for HEX. We have at KDP Crypto, KDP talked about HotBit. HotBit is having a Twitter space with Jesse from Just Ask Jesse at Power City and some other co-founder and KDP, right, to do a Pulsechain forum. HotBit already has HEX listed, and they're doing a forum, right, a Twitter space with people in the HEX community discussing Pulsechain. Could HotBit Exchange be the first to list Pulsechain? This week is a big one. Join us as we talk to HotBit news about HEX and Pulsechain. HotBit is it's not Binance, obviously, but you see here they got 497.5 thousand followers. It's interesting because I did use HotBit to buy HEX and other cryptos. So it's it is definitely an exchange that people use, and actually got hacked, and I couldn't withdraw my money for a while. But I already withdrew my HEX, but there were other cryptos I had on the exchange, and I couldn't withdraw it. But obviously it looks like they got that fixed. Overall point is that, yeah, it is starting to be less gatekept. And I think HotBit is going to be very happy with the traction they get from a Twitter space with people in the HEX Pulsechain community, whatever you want to call it. And that's going to incentivize them to do it again. And that'll probably drive a lot of traffic to HotBit. And if other exchanges see that, look, HotBit's doing really well because they listed Pulsechain and they listed HEX, they're getting a lot of engagement on Twitter, and they're getting a lot of people on-ramping and off-ramping from their exchange, a lot of money, and other exchanges will want to jump in. And I think we're just getting started, guys, okay? We're just getting started. So while, Binance and Coinbase would not be tempted to list it because they could get a little bit of extra traffic, smaller exchanges will. And then if HEX gets bigger, then the small exchanges could become the bigger exchanges. And then the bigger exchanges can either adapt and, list HEX and Pulsechain, or they could go out of business. So they'll have an ultimatum. And that's why I think that I spoke about this with Abit. The gatekeeping is not a self-sustainable model. If the insurgent is making huge inroads, which is kind of happening, and just understand that it's happening now, and it's happening to the point where I might not even be able to say HEX is gate kept anymore. But yeah, that's cool. And Sami's funny. Did I like and retweet that? No, I didn't. Let me like and retweet that. And then we got Sami, 840 wallet 846B was a poopy face seller in HEX today. Sold 9.2 million HEX at market in one clip. He has no more stakes or liquid HEX remaining. Toilet hands like to rinse themselves away completely. Mostly USDT and wallet now. Drinks soy occasionally. This guy's so funny. But yeah, you see that. More of the big sellers are getting out, which is awesome. But yeah, we got 45 people watching, so make sure you hit the like and subscribe if you're enjoying the stream. And we're going to check out what you guys are saying. What's going on? Brendan Macy. Abit HEX. We are going in the right direction. Absolutely. Thanks to Abit HEX. Red Squirrel. Oi, oi. Afternoon. What's going on, Red Squirrel? Yeah. So now I'm going to have to unshare the screen. Well, let me just first pull up from the share screen. The next tab, I think, is the story with Simon Dixon. Yes, I got blocked by Simon Dixon. I call him Simon Middleman Dixon. Simon Dixon was saying some not such nice things about HEX, and he was saying basically the same way that, HEX warned of Celsius, and, whatever Bitcoiners are going to say they warned about HEX, which is funny because this guy should not be talking anymore at this point, because he's the person that got people into Celsius in the first place. His company, Bank to the Future, was one of the major investors into Celsius. He had Alex Mashinsky on the show, on his Bank to the Future podcast, trying to raise money for Celsius and encouraging people to use Celsius. And now he's talking like Bitcoiners who have no gains are going to say they warned people about HEX or whatever. I can't quote the tweet because he blocked me. It's like, bro, you messed up too many times, Simon Dixon. You messed up too many times. And there's a thread, which luckily, before I was blocked, I screenshot. So I can't pull it up on Twitter, but I can pull up the screenshots. Let's see here. Share screen. Windows. Oh, sweet. How's it looking? There we go. So he was in a thread. Simon Dixon was in a thread with Johnny Chaos. And he said it does not, I forget what it was, but they're talking about yield. That HEX, I think I said that HEX allows people to earn yield trustlessly. And then Simon Dixon says, happy for you, but it does not solve the problem I was trying to solve. How to borrow against Bitcoin without selling it. That's got nothing to do with HEX. I hope you became as, I don't know what he said. I should have screenshotted that. But then I responded, Furu Finance, you should be following me on Twitter at Furu Finance. The issue is not finding a method of borrowing against your crypto. We already have that in DeFi. The issue is finding a company Simon can invest in or receive affiliate commission that allows you to borrow against your crypto, right? Because obviously Simon Dixon, just for a background, invested in Celsius, and then obviously he told people to go use Celsius, which helped pump his bags, instead of using trustless protocols like DeFi. And then he responded, Simon Dixon, he's being very nice now because he doesn't know how much I know. He didn't know who he was dealing with. He's like, I never received affiliate income for anything. I made all my money investing in the sector that allowed you to have the HEX you love today. I was talking about borrowing against Bitcoin, which just shows how bad Bitcoin is. Like, you can't borrow against it without wrapping it and putting it into Ethereum. But the point is, he's talking about borrowing against Bitcoin. So then I responded, you can wrap your Bitcoin and borrow without middleman risk. You've invested in companies doing the opposite of why crypto was invented. Your followers gave up their keys to earn yield, and now they have no money. Now you sway them from, I accidentally have them. Now you sway them from earning yield without middlemen, meaning you sway them away from HEX and back into the traditional system that has ruined so many people in crypto. Just to elaborate on that, because he was saying that something about borrowing against Bitcoin as if there's no solution, and there is a solution. It's called Ethereum. Wrap your Bitcoin, go borrow against it in Aave or Maker or whatever you want as a collateral, and that just gets locked up in the smart contract. You don't have a company that you have to trust is going to not gamble with it or do stupid things or spend it on things that they shouldn't be spending it on, like we saw with pretty much every lending platform. And then obviously, so we have the solution to the yield issue, which is DeFi, and we have the solution to the middleman, not the yield issue, the borrowing issue, which is DeFi, and the solution to the yield earning issue, which is HEX, right? HEX pays better yield without middleman risk and without giving up your keys. But for some reason, Simon's saying we need centralized entities to borrow against and to pay people yield. Stay away from HEX. Stay away from what solves everything that is wrong with crypto. I also don't like that he's like positioning himself like he's the one that brought HEX to what it is, which with his investments, when he wasn't investing in the things that allowed HEX to exist, like decentralized exchanges, he was investing in centralized entities. So you invested in the sectors that allowed you to have HEX. That's not true. That's not true. You invested in the sectors that prevented people from going into HEX, right? Like people thought, I shouldn't use HEX. It's a scam. Let me use Celsius, which is what you invested in. So you invested in sectors that gatekeep HEX. And then Simon Dixon replies, this guy with like over 100,000 followers is just going back and forth with me. So like originally I was respecting it. He's like, my followers diversify and manage risks. I came in to help Celsius creditors that got scammed. Oh, holier than thou, Simon Dixon. I used DeFi and Bitcoin more than I use centralized. I've been doing that from before DeFi was a word. You seem to think I put all my Bitcoin in Celsius. You're wrong. No, I didn't say that. Then I respond. So he's saying, yeah. So Simon Dixon is saying that that he came in to help the Celsius creditors that got scammed when he was bringing them to Celsius in the first place. He was bringing them there in the first place. They got scammed, and now he steps forward like he is the big savior for everyone. You're not. You fucked it up, man. You fucked up big time, Simon Dixon. And now, hopefully, maybe you can scratch some of the broken pieces for the people that you messed over. We shouldn't be praising you for that. It's not something that should be like commended. It should be expected of you. You messed up. Now go fix it as best you can and get the hell out of here. So then I responded, had it not been for you, they wouldn't be in Celsius in the first place. Laugh my ass off. Okay, because we'll see soon. Now you're veering them away from HEX. If DeFi works, what's the problem, right? He said we need a solution to the borrowing problem. And then he said DeFi works, which obviously he's contradicting himself. Because Simon's not interested in a solution. Simon's interested in something that he could invest in, that he can funnel people to, which obviously sends his investments to the moon. Well, you can't say you use DeFi and it works while saying there is an issue of borrowing against crypto. So there you go. There's obviously no issue if DeFi works. He's like, I don't think so. I never promoted Celsius. I used it to take out a loan and got scammed. Where you get that from? He never promoted Celsius, right? So then obviously, right then I pulled up the forum he had with Alex Mashinsky, where he was literally he share screen the QR code that you need to scan in order to send money to Celsius to get in on the investment, saying wonderful things about what they do, saying wonderful things about Mashinsky. So with the crying, laughing faces emoji, obviously in the title, I blocked some of these spam accounts, but it said Celsius Network raises 17 million AMA with Alex Mashinsky. He was not having him on and being suspicious. He was having him on and saying wonderful things and telling people to send their money to Celsius. Simon Dixon was telling everyone, and then he didn't know I do the due diligence and go back far enough into his Bank to the Future channel to find that, but I did, and he got completely caught. It's like, where do you get it from? So next thing is, so he responded after I brought up the clip. I linked it and brought a picture of him with Mashinsky. He's like, equity. We facilitated the equity round and got rugged. One rug from 100 companies. All the investors were there, existing users, rather than us promoting their service. You were promoting their service in the video. But yes, bad investment, cost me big. That's why I work day and night to help the victims and to help yourself. And obviously you got the victims there in the first place. So it's on you, buddy. But I responded with a list. A 3-point list. One is you got caught, lol, because you got caught. 2 is people deposited their crypto into Celsius because you shilled it. And then 3 is after Celsius went under, you pointed your followers toward Salt Lending, which also went under. Stop making it like you're so righteous. Try and get your users' money back and step aside. Step aside, Simon Dixon. So there you go. That's the whole thing. Then immediately I was blocked after because he couldn't respond because he knows he's a scumbag. So that is the Simon Dixon saga. It's just interesting that he keeps on doing this. I said you can't teach an old dog new tricks. He kept on doing the same thing over and over again, right? Like he told people, stay away from HEX. HEX did a 10,000X. Put your money in Celsius. Invest in Celsius. Wrecked. Invest in Salt Lending. Put your money in Salt Lending. Borrow against your stuff. Wrecked all his followers. Constantly getting his followers wrecked. And there's obviously one of his biggest investors is Bitfinex and Tether, which refuses to do an audit and had some very shady things that go on with them, which I've covered in past live streams. The point is, Simon's got it all wrong. And he talks like, and much of what has happened, to these investors and deposited is Simon Dixon's fault. I mean, he was behind it. And now he's talking like HEX is a scam and like he should be listened to. He should be the authority when he's been behind the curve and messing people over time and time again. And this idea that he could come out there like he is like holier than thou and lie. He lied. He straight up lied about promoting Celsius. He said he didn't do it. It was like just like a private investment and he got caught. So the fact that he could just go out there and make bold-faced lies and present himself like he's this amicable, respectable person. No, you're not, dude. You're a fucking scumbag. That's what you are. Simon Dixon's in it for Simon Dixon. And he's getting a tremendous amount of clout for being like this person who's trying to help the little guys in Celsius, when really, he's just trying to help himself and his company. And the proof of that was once he got the clout, once he won over the Celsians because people were fed up with Mashinsky, he's like, go to Salt Lending, go to this other thing that I'm invested in. And obviously people got wrecked there as well. So he's not this good person. He's in it for Simon Dixon and he should not be listened to because he's been wrong time and time again. So that's the story about Simon Dixon. Simon Middleman Dixon should be erased from the, halls of cryptocurrency. He should not be the authority. People should not listen to him. He does not have the solutions. He's trying to implement the same things that have been failing in traditional finance for years. He's trying to implement it into cryptocurrency. That's what he is. He is just basically the same old, with a new wrapper. He's a polished turd. That's what Simon Dixon is. But that's it for the Simon Dixon saga. Please, we got 64 people watching the stream, so just hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We're going to move on soon, but let's go see what you guys are saying because I haven't been checking the chat. What's going on? Crypto, Crispy Man, what's going on? We love Crispy Man. And we got Academiciated. And then we got Crypto Elite. Hey, Furu, isn't there a possibility hype goes away from DeFi like all the 2017 coins did? Even ever thought about that? Yeah, I guess. I mean, DeFi is, why would hype go away from it? It's practical. It works. It's a huge innovation in finance. It's going to be implemented into traditional finance, or completely usurp traditional finance altogether. So why would the hype go away? I mean, yeah, I guess you could say did the hype of Google go away? Like it's just mainstream now. That's what will probably happen to DeFi. Does that mean a particular DeFi project is the future? No, most of them are going to go away, but there are going to be a few protocols that everyone uses. Intense Taekwondo. Got early in HEX, early in Pulse and Pulse X. We are so early because everyone thinks this is a scam. Right on, intense Taekwondo. Davis, what's going on, Davis? Welcome to the stream. And 29 Levon, good for you for calling out these liars. Yes, thank you, man. We may be very happy to see Bitcoin stop at 9,000 given the market conditions in the world today. I disagree, but I don't know. I definitely won't be happy. Maybe I will because I get to pick up some cheap crypto. Urban Productions. People get wrecked in investments all the time since the beginning of time. Correct. And if someone gets wrecked time and time again and keeps on leading you in the wrong direction, you probably shouldn't listen to that guy, especially when the person is caught lying and has conflicts of interest in mind, like Simon Dixon. You know, if he was truly sincere about solving the problem, the issue with borrowing against your Bitcoin, right? He would tell his people, he would tell his bank to the future people or whatever to go into DeFi. Maybe he'd give them a tutorial on DeFi, whatever, but he's not interested in that because he's interested in making money. So he wants to invest in startups that do these services and that obviously incur middleman risk because yes, there's middleman risk, but there's money to be made for Simon. So dropping Mike is a nice thing, real nice, but it's nothing like dropping a list. Simon Middleman Dixon, yes. Rainmaker for real. Rainmaker for real. What's going on, Rainmaker for real? Got a lot of nice words about our stream together. You know that? A lot of people said, I really like that Rainmaker for real stream. So that means we have to have Rainmaker for real back sometime. But a lot of good reviews of the Rainmaker for real stream. And you guys could check that out in the replay. And you could follow him on Twitter. He is a very smart guy, to say the least. Johnny Veritas. What's up, Johnny Veritas? I've seen you in the comment section. Don't think I've seen you live, but I love your input in the comment section. But will there be a privacy tool like Tornado Cash and Pulsechain? I think so. I don't know. There's some legal issues with Tornado Cash. It's definitely not legal in the US. Yeah. So everything is energy. Well done. Thank you, man. Thank you, Urban Productions. Valen says, I don't trust anyone named Simon. Anil Gurjar Guria, how we know that screenshot has taken for free copy of Pulse. You'll know the screenshot's taken because Pulsechain launch announcement, Pulsechain launch will be announced. That's when the screenshot is taken. But thank you. Just a reminder, guys, please like and subscribe. Click the link in the description to book your free one-on-one and consider joining the Patreon. You get Discord, courses, weekly meetings, and access to my trades in my portfolio balance. So go check that out. Link is in the description below. But next up, our next story is... Oh, and I forgot to bring up the tab where it just happens to be Richard Hart tweeted, speaking of Simon and Celsius, but basically a judge said that Judge Martin Glenn hints being in favor of implementing retail clawbacks, stating that it is unfair that some Celsians withdrew digital assets in the 90 days prior to the bankruptcy while others didn't. Which means basically if you took your money out of Celsius 90 days early, the government could come to you and say, sorry, we need the money back. Too bad. It's not fair. Some people didn't get out early. But yeah, that's that. And then obviously part of the reason for the Bitcoin dump was the 49,000 Bitcoin from the Silk Road hacker. So we have that, and then we have obviously the Silvergate Bank shutting operations and liquidating after market meltdown. I think that's like the main reason behind this dump. And this just came out, I think it was yesterday. This came out yesterday. And right now Bitcoin is 21,444. We're getting close to the 20,000s. So this is pretty crazy. Silvergate Capital announced on Wednesday that it will wind down operations and liquidate its bank. The firm has served as one of the two main banks for the crypto industry, along with Signature Bank. All deposits will be fully repaid according to liquidation plan shared on Wednesday. So it says here, Silvergate Capital, a central lender to the crypto industry, said on Wednesday that it's winding down operations and liquidating its bank. The stock plunged more than 36% in after trading hours. Silvergate has served as one of the two main banks for crypto companies, along with New York-based Signature Bank. Silvergate has just over $11 billion in assets compared with the $114 billion at Signature. Bankrupt crypto exchange FTX was a major Silvergate customer. So you see the whole web, they're all kind of intertwined, and if one goes down, that could be very bad for everyone else. Silvergate said last week it would delay the filing of its annual 10K for 2022 while it sorted out the viability of its business. The company disclosed that the delayed filing was partly due to imminent regulatory crackdown, including a probe already underway by the Department of Justice. Wow. So it started out, we just need to delay the filing, and then obviously they caved. Crypto companies like Coinbase and Galaxy Digital raced to cut ties with Silvergate last week after the bank warned that it was unsure whether it could stay in business. So that's interesting. So you have these big things like Coinbase, Galaxy Digital, that's Mike Novogratz's hedge fund, using Silvergate. So if Silvergate goes under, can we see another cascade? Can we see like another thing, like the same way FTX went down and then you had Voyager go down and you had Celsius go down and basically all these companies? Does that mean like all the companies affiliated with Silvergate are gonna go down? Now they're saying that Silvergate is going to repay everything, but that's how it starts, and then obviously as things start to unfold, it could end up being a lot worse and a lot more catastrophic than originally perceived. So that could be 11K in prey. It's not funny, but Silvergate is the second largest, and it's far away from the first, but I don't know. If, let's say, Silvergate goes under and then therefore Coinbase goes under and everything else goes under, I don't know, that could be very, very bad. So let's pray. That could be 11K, and actually pray that it doesn't go to like 9K, like who was saying that earlier? Who was saying 9K? Oh, John Killeran. Hey, maybe you're right, John. I don't think so, but I don't know, man. So also another thing to take note of is, despite the horrible news, Bitcoin has not dumped but it might happen, earlier dumps like Terra Luna and stuff like that. Like, what it could be like the small candles and then bigger and bigger and bigger. So I would want to say that, look, there's such bad news and we're still not dumping that much, but we could start dumping that much. I'm not going to count that out, so I don't want to say that yet. But if we don't dump that much, despite the Silvergate thing, and maybe like another major couple of companies being tied to Silvergate going under because of that, then that could be very indicative of the bottom. that could be indicative of the bottom, but I don't know. It's really hard. Like, that's really bad. Silvergate going under is definitely very bad. So we're going to have to see where the chips fall, I guess is the way to put it. But I guess things will unfold in the next couple of weeks and months. Because when FTX went down, it took some time for everything to go under. So I guess you could say the same thing here. I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. But I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna double down that Bitcoin bottomed already. But I don't know. I could be totally wrong. This is definitely a big story. The Silvergate thing definitely seems like a big story. That's it for the Silvergate. We're going to get to the Pulsechain launch updates. I know you guys want to talk about the Pulsechain launch updates, but what's going on in the chat? Larry O says, yo, 10K and pray. And Urban Production says, I guess Richard Hart's 11K Bitcoin prediction is close. It's not close yet, but I don't know. You know what could be indicative of no 11K if Silvergate going down and then everything else goes down and we're at like 15K still. But could happen. What's going on, Crypto Khalil? I saw you on Twitter. What's going on? Nice to see you in the chat. Crypto Romance says Cryptomance says 3 cents incoming. I don't think so, but who knows? I mean, everything's unpredictable in crypto. We're going to have to wait and see. HEX said maybe 6 months until mainnet from testnet v3. And I could see a lot of people getting fed up if, like, it goes past 3 months and dumping. And a lot of FUD going around. So in that case, maybe. But if it's a 3-month testnet to mainnet with regular updates or less than 3 to 2 months, I don't see it happening. But you could say that maybe this will pull everything down, right? Davis says, one thing I know, we are in the best position when the bull market starts, no matter the bottom. I agree. I would agree with that. We got 92 people watching. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Consider becoming a patron. Link is in the description. And book a free one-on-one today. Link is in the description. Moving on, we got what do we have? Oh, this was Crypto Coffee had a good thing. So basically, you had the Richard Hart Pulsechain update saying Aragon released a bug fix. Yay, Pulse Aragon is still syncing using the latest version. Will fix, so it won't run into that bug. Execution stage is on December 18th. So only 79 days, 17 hours of blocks to execute before stage 19. And so people were thinking that 79 days, that means 79 days until Pulsechain testnet v3 starts, which would be a little bit of a bummer. That's over 2 months, and people are talking about it could happen in days. And then Crypto Coffee 369, you guys should be subscribed and liked to Crypto Coffee 369, obviously. When you sync a blockchain, it tells you how many blocks are left by how many days of time passed in that historic number of blocks. 79 days of blocks makes more sense than saying 7 gazillion blocks. Yes. So just 79 days of blocks to sync, which should take less than 79 days. And the validation, I spoke about this yesterday, but KDP said she's trying to contain her excitement. But do you realize this means Pulsechain v3 could be only days away, right? So that was the question she asked. And then shortly after, meaning today, today, the Pulsechain HEX tweeted, the Pulsechain website was just updated after Richard was online. So go like and retweet that from HEX. That is really cool. So the Pulsechain website was updated. Richard was online in GitLab, and you have the bug being fixed. And Hexologist also tweeted that. So go follow at Hexologist31 if you're not living under a rock. If you're living under a rock, I'm sorry. But he also tweeted about that Pulsechain website updated. So you have a combination of the bug being fixed, syncing continuing to happen, and then obviously the website updated. So big things are definitely happening for Pulsechain. I would have to say that it could be days away. Is that the first time you heard that? It could be days away. Pulsechain could be days away, guys. It could be days away. And hopefully Abit will be wrong about the 6 months. I say 2 to 3 months from V3 to mainnet. But we're going to see how this goes. Hopefully there will be more updates from Richard Hart in the future. Let's actually check his Twitter to see if has he tweeted since before we started this. Talked about Hedera. So yeah, no updates from the big man himself. But we're really close, guys. We're really close. Hopefully 2 to 3 months to mainnet and days to testnet. And hopefully, despite the Silvergate debacle, the Silvergate fallout, which hopefully won't cascade the market, HEX will be making all-time highs. Wouldn't that be nice, right? Wouldn't that be nice? But even if it doesn't, even if it dumps back to all-time lows, which I don't think it will, by the way. I don't think it's dumping to all-time lows, even if Bitcoin hits 11K and pray, because Bitcoin doesn't have a Pulsechain launch. But even if it does, I'm going to buy more. What an opportunity, right? That's why you have to dollar cost average. You can't FOMO in. Can't FOMO in because there's always potential opportunities. And you can't lose. You could lose trying to time the market. If you try and time it and the price runs away from it, you lose. You lose. You lose. But if you dollar cost average, you always have exposure to the asset. So if it's a winning asset, you win. You win. But we got 92 people watching the stream. If you're enjoying the stream, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. But yeah, just go hit that like, okay? Do me a solid. Go hit the like. Now's the time where I check out the chat and I see what you guys are saying. And hopefully I can give some sort of insight on some level that leaves you more knowledgeable leaving the stream than when you came in, but can't promise. No expectation from the streams of others. And Frank Media says, this stream sucks. Guess what? You suck because you're blocked. Are you Simon Dixon? Are you Simon Dixon? Let me see, did it block? Are you a bank to the future guy? Awesome. And let's go take a look at other chats. Cryptomance PLS says, I'm really about to say mid-May twice now, lol. Well, you're in good company because Johnny Chaos said May. And Richard Hart wants to be right. So count you out. Hexagon from Hexaco. Is everyone moving their Pulsechain and Pulsex to different MetaMask or other wallets after launch to not have all their eggs in one basket? Why do you have to do that after launch? Oh, you're saying, oh. That's something that people do. That is something that people do, right? I mean, if you only have one wallet, the more wallets you have, the less risk you have of losing all your money, because if you have one wallet hacked, you still have wallets you have still have money in other wallets, which you could keep. The only thing is it's a little bit of a security headache because you have more seed phrases. So you definitely don't want to have too many wallets, but you also don't want to have too few wallets. But that's my opinion. And you could obviously book a one-on-one at furufinance.com. Toby Wan Hex Obi. Sup, y'all. Sup, Toby Wan Hex Obi. Thanks for stopping by. Toby Wan Hex Obi. Go follow Toby Wan Hex Obi. And I love hearing Toby Wan Hex Obi on the Matty Allen stream. So hopefully we could have him on this stream. And Brizology, right around the corner. Very true, very true. What's going on? Brizology, also recently on the Matty Allen stream. As the government says, just 2 more weeks. And we have Davis. I'm a buyer at 4 cents. For make a poll to see if chat wants to take Brizology's wrench. We can't take the wrench. We can't take the wrench. We can't take the wrench unless we give him a sugar mama. What's up, Moon Signal? I love you too, Moon Signal. Bet4. How do you even get hacked if nobody have your seed phrase? That's why you have to take your seed phrase offline, right? If your seed phrase is on your ledger, then nobody can take it. But if your seed phrase is on the internet, then people can get access to it. And I actually have a Ledger affiliate link, guys. So if you're considering buying a Ledger, that's what I use. You could get me like $5 or something if you use the link in the description to buy your Ledger. But Moon Signal says, please, can you make a video about total market cap and how much the market will reach comparing with other market like stocks, real estate? I actually have a video talking about market cap being a vanity metric. That was, like I keep saying, Richard Hart, one of his 2 biggest intellectual contributions to the crypto space, right? So the 2 biggest intellectual contributions of Richard Hart to the crypto space, and that's huge, having 2. I don't know how many people even have 1, but 1 is Hart's Law, which I did a video on, and 2 is market cap to being a vanity metric. So if you look at my video titled market cap too high ? Or something, it's an early video. It's like from way back. You will see why the market cap doesn't matter, especially in crypto. But you'll see eventually market cap of crypto will go higher than any stock. I mean, Bitcoin's already made it to like the top 10, if not top 5. But you'll see it'll go higher than probably all stocks and all real estate because it moves up really fast and it's very low liquidity. The liquidity is very low. So the market cap is very not correlated, I think, right? If like there's tons in the wallets and like so little on the market, then the market cap could really, really just completely run away from other industries where there's a lot of liquidity in the market. Your thoughts on the Shanghai update? Should Richard Hart wait for that and then V3? Well, he said he's not waiting for it. So it's kind of irrespective of my opinion, I don't know much about it, if I'm being completely honest. But I know it's something that's better for Ethereum that they will implement after. Why should you wait for it if you could implement it after the launch, right? Barry Thomas says, I have multiple Trezor wallets trying to come up with a strategy how to use them. Book a call. But you'd want to split the money up amongst the Trezors. But again, if you have like too many, then you're going to probably lose some seed phrases, right? The more seed phrases you have, the less significant they are. So you'll probably be more prone to losing them unless you store them all in one place, in which case, I mean, if someone gets one, they get all of them. So I think you don't want to go too crazy with the amount of hardware wallets you have, but you definitely don't want to only have one. And yeah, and it's more likely losing a seed phrase than getting hacked. Especially, yeah, I don't know. Don't go overboard. And Brazology says, yeah, suck it. Chad John responds, bring me a sugar mama if you want my wrench. There you go. And bring me one too while you're at it. What's up, Humberto? Hello, everyone from sunny Miami. BitBoy now fudding HEX with his pal Dixon. When? In a video or something? Is it in a video? We'll say one thing. BitBoy is, how's he fudding HEX with Dixon? BitBoy said in the crypto Audi video, he said that he's adding to his portfolio things that he did not think he would be adding to his portfolio. So I don't know how I don't know how he can I don't know how he could be fudding it. It's pretty hard to fud your own bags, and he's a Pulsechain sacrificer. But I'll be back in 1 second. And we're back. 103 people watching. Wow. Just hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. But I don't think BitBoy is going to FUD too much because he's got his own bags. He might want to stay neutral, right? Especially with the whole SEC thing. And obviously his audience coming from XRP and Cardano and all those all those bad communities. So I think they're just waiting. They're waiting for clarity. They're just waiting for it to really, they're waiting for it to be too late. They're waiting for it to become a blue chip. And then once it becomes a blue chip, they'll shamelessly shill it. But by that point, it'll already be too late. When's that going to happen? I think about maybe a year or two. Could be a year or two. I think closer to the top of the bull market. Especially you see the Twitter spaces with HotBit. Exchanges are already looking to list it, and smaller exchanges that are trying to get as big as Coinbase and KuCoin and Binance and things like that. You know, listing HEX can really get you a step ahead. So I think, like I said, either Coinbase is going to have to list, or they're going to step aside. They will be they'll be eaten up by smaller fish. I see a lot of talk about wallets, but isn't Richard himself looking at bringing a wallet out? He is looking to bring a wallet out, yeah, but that's not a hardware wallet. It's another version of MetaMask, which is basically the front end to your wallet, right? So you should be not using MetaMask without a ledger or a Trezor. So yeah, you're still going to need a hardware wallet to sign on transactions that you make using the Richard Hart wallet. So yeah, seed phrase offline. Link in the description if you guys don't have a ledger. You consider booking one-on-one at furufinance.com. BitBoy is a paid shiller. He stopped. But like I said, he stopped once he became big and, once he had a lot of money. So it's easy to stop, once you made it. What really shows who you are is when you didn't make it. Did you turn down those offers to shill projects for, substantial money? Like, or did you sell out? Because if I were worth $1 billion, if I were worth like $10 million, what does it matter to turn down, $20,000-$30,000 to shill something? Doesn't mean as much. It means a lot when you could actually use the money. And I'm proud to say that I have not been paid to shill anything on this channel, and I don't plan on getting paid ever. So I'm very proud to say that I have never been paid to shill. And I actually got a lot of messages. I could actually, if you guys want, I could even read you some of the messages that I get in my inbox. If you guys want some insider information. But I'm not going to mention the project. But where is it? Spam. Yeah. Hi, my name is blank. I'm head of growth at blank, a Web3 project responsible for implementing the world's first stablecoin based on the price of gold on the Pulsechain network. Whatever. I'd like to talk to you about a potential collaboration between our brands. We are willing to invest capital in your YouTube channel in exchange for promoting the project. There you go. I get these every day. Like, yeah, that's really what the influencers are about. Let's see, are there any more? NFT collection, promotion campaign, promote our NFTs, and have chosen your YouTube platform as our means of promotion. Running a PR campaign to promote our NFT and have chosen your YouTube channel as our means of promotion. We want to collaborate with you. That's what it's about, guys. The influencer game is not the same as the audience game. The influencer game is to get paid to promote. Use your audience as exit liquidity or whatever, pay for play and all those kinds of things. The point is that for the influencers, it's not about picking out the best crypto. In fact, it would be risky for them to really go dig deep and try and find that next 1,000, 10,000x because, usually things, it's very hard to find that. And if they're wrong, they I don't want to say that because then they just shill anything for money and they're wrong. So they don't care about looking stupid. But why would they look for the next big thing if they could just get paid to shill the not next big thing. They get paid to shill rugs, and there's no legal repercussions whatsoever. Nothing. Did anyone go to jail for that? Like, how many people, dumped all their money into a project because a mainstream influencer? I'm not saying Big Boy for sure. I'm saying because an influencer shilled something for pay that they honestly did not think was going to go up, and they could care less about. Like, how many people lost all their money? Maybe it ruined their marriage because they stupidly gambled away all their money. Or maybe people committed suicide. You don't know the repercussions of that. It's horrible. And these people that did that, they deserve to go to jail, obviously, with a trial, to make sure that they were wrong and whatever. But the point is that it's a horrible, horrible thing. And there's no legal repercussions for it. And people walk out with a lot of money in it. So why should they be interested in trying to find the next big thing? They're getting a good payout. Humberto says, what do you think of just keeping your wallet in a turned off iPhone? How secure is that? Not secure at all. Well, you have to turn it on. No, because it's online. Unless you delete the wallet, it's online. When your computer is turned off, it could still be hacked into, I'm pretty sure. So it's still online. Get a ledger, guys. Go use my affiliate link and get me $5 or get a Trezor or whatever. But don't keep your wallet online. What's the point? Whenever it's online, you're incurring risk. I mean, if you really want to do it without a hardware wallet, then what you could do is when you're finished, using your wallet, right? When you're finished doing what you're doing online, you just delete the MetaMask and then reinstall it when you want to use it again, and then type in the seed phrase again. And then when you're done, just, delete it, especially if you don't use it a lot. That is something that you could do, but it's just annoying. It's a lot easier to just have a wallet that you could connect into your computer. Also, when it's online, for those few minutes, you are technically at risk. But yeah, turning your phone off is not going to save you. It's still online. BitBoy said today that HEX under investigation by the SEC, that he doesn't understand how it works and he wishes HEXkin's the best. Lol. And he also said, that's what he says on his show, but then obviously behind closed doors, when he's not live, he says that he's adding to his portfolio things that he would have never thought he was adding to his portfolio upon being asked if he's a HEXkin, which means he's probably buying HEX and he's probably going to buy PulseX and more Pulsechain or whatever. So he just doesn't want to get in. I guess he's afraid of the SEC repercussions. There you go. There's no repercussions for being pay for play. But for some reason, I don't know, if the SEC is investigating influencers, whether or not they're paid to promote HEX, that means that they're probably going to investigate into influencers that were paid to promote other things and maybe go after them. So maybe that's not the worst thing. Clip it. Yeah, go clip it. Davis says, I dislike BitBoy for past scams he shilled. I did see his video 2 months ago predicting Silvergate would belly up as it's doing. I watched BitBoy just to see the scammers. A talking like. Oh, interesting. He did. There were reports on that going belly up. And I'm sure it's not that cool if you predict so many things are going to go belly up and then, a broken clock is right twice a day kind of thing, right? So I don't watch much BitBoy, but I know a lot of people were predicting everything was going to go under. Not everything went under. Like Binance seems pretty okay, but never. Who knows? After the Silvergate thing, let's see how Binance could withstand it. But I think they will. Robbie One says, newbie question. What would be the point of EHEX after the Pulse launch? If PHEX is designed to have lower gas fees, then how would that not drive the price of HEX down significantly? That's a good question. Consider going to the link in the description and booking a full one-on-one. But what would be the point of HEX? The point of HEX is to buy and stake, the same point as PHEX. Now, the question is, oh, but the gas fees are going to be too high, right? Yeah, the gas fees are going to be high, especially for longer stakes. But if that disincentivizes people from staking or makes people emergency end stake on Ethereum, then the payout is also going to be higher. And if the payout's higher, right, if the payout for HEX is significantly higher, then you would say, hey, why not spend an extra $1,000 on HEX if I can earn so much more yield, right? Getting so much more T shares for my stake. Because the more people that stake, the higher the T share rate goes up, which means you get less yield. The more people that stake means you get less yield. So if less people are staking on Ethereum because of the gas fees, you'll get more yield, and eventually that gap will make it more worthwhile, even though the gas fee's higher. I think that's a good answer. Also, another thing is Johnny Chaos says there could be a forced parity by the OA. Also, right now, Ethereum has no interest in resolving the gas fees because there's nowhere else to go. They're the only show in town, and it's really pumping their bags, right? If it was less money to pay for gas fees, that means you have to buy less ETH. For example, right now I'm buying ETH because I'm going to need money to end those stakes in the future, and I'd rather buy it now while it's cheaper. Point is that if they lower the gas fee, then I'd be buying less ETH, so I'd be pumping their bags less, right? Vitalik's got a lot of ETH bags, so it's good. These high gas fees are good for his bags. It's not good for adoption, good for his bags, but they don't have to worry about adoption because it's the only blockchain out there that actually has adoption. There's nowhere else to go. But with Pulsechain launch, that's going to be a little bit different because there's a system state fork. There's active communities that are going to be on it, most prominently HEX. So people can just go elsewhere, and there will be more of a sense of urgency to do something about the high gas fees. But good question. I hope that answers your question. That's a good question, though. And consider going to the link in the description. You can book a free one-on-one. You can also join my Patreon, guys. Lots of good information there. So just consider it and appreciate the great question. Johnny Veritas. I hope one day a DeFi tool is devised to deal with inheritance. If no funds move for 5 years, the funds get automatically transferred to ETH PLS wallet X for the heirs without PR key sharing. Hey, that's a good idea. Maybe you can make that. It's actually a very cool idea. I like that idea. That's a very good idea, Johnny Veritas. That is a very good idea. And that's how things are made. People come out with good ideas. Those ideas catch on. So you could consider that. Humberto, I have a ledger, just don't know how to connect it. Book a one-on-one. Link in the description. I can walk you through that very easily and very quickly. Oh, Crispy Man says it's a bad idea. He's referring to something else. Got two ledgers, okay. Oh, so Brazology's saying just use an old phone, no SIM card, and keep the phone and Wi-Fi off unless you are making a transaction. That is an option. That is an option. But during those few seconds, someone could hack in. But it's a little bit of a parade of imaginary horribles. If I'm being honest, it is a little bit of a parade of imaginary horribles. But it's just so easy. Like, having a ledger, you can just plug it in and sign. So I don't know, but that is a move. And Crispy Man says it's the best posture to never type your seed phrase in ever. Okay. So go, guys, click the link in the description and buy a ledger. It's important that you buy the ledger from the original bank. Very true. Very true. Elvis says Richard Hart mentioned the concept of parenting coins and discussed it during his live streams. He also mentioned the purpose of Pulsechain was to provide a solution to the high fees. Very, very true. That is true. That is very true. We got 91 people watching. So if you're enjoying the stream, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and consider becoming a patron for exclusive content, Discord, everything like that. Link is in the description. And consider booking a free one-on-one. We have the Bitcoin price right now, though, is at 21,408. So the dump continues. Let's look at a 4-hour. Oh, wow. Look at this. 21,394. Looks like we're going down to 20,000. Gareth Soloway was talking on Crypto Banter this morning about 18,000. And HEX at 5.74 cents. Looking like we're going back to the Pulsechain testnet v3 target. Crypto J asks, how soon do you think OG would, you mean OA, would make HEX parity? If he does, and you buy PHEX, when slower price, you would see multiples even if EHEX doesn't go up. Even if he does and you buy PHEX, when slower price, I don't know what that means, but how soon do you think it's going to hit parity? Well, it may not even hit parity. That depends on the OA. So it may or may not happen. There are two opinions. One is that it could either happen right away. Crypto Coffee 369 is of the opinion that maybe it's a good idea to wait for people to dump the EHEX, right, and get the weekends out and then pair it and make parity, because that means that the people left holding are going to be the people that are, that have more buy-in into the system and are less likely to sell, right? So that's a very interesting take by Crypto Coffee. Crypto Coffee has a lot of interesting takes. You should be following him at Crypto Coffee 369 on Twitter, and on YouTube, you should be subscribed to Crypto Coffee if you're living under a rock. But that's the answer. I can't answer that because I'm not the OA, or am I? No, I'm kidding. So I can't answer that. One is the OA has to say the OA has to want parity. Two is he has to decide when he wants parity. And if you know the OA, then maybe you'll get an answer. Bitfinesse says, are the only people mad about the dollar going digital people who don't understand the Fed or anything else? No, I think if anything, the people that are mad about the dollar going digital, they have a better understanding of the Fed. Because it's not good for your privacy and it's not good for your freedom. It's good for your convenience. and it's good for their control. I don't know. I mean, I'm not against the idea of a digital dollar in principle, but probably the way it's going to be carried out is not the way that I would want it to be carried out. Like, if you could have a digital dollar that operates sort of like Monero or like, you know, a privacy coin just pegged, then that would be freaking awesome. That would be better than cash. And if they didn't want to make cash obsolete and have a digital dollar, I mean, that's kind of what we already have, a digital dollar. It's just not on blockchain. The thing is do they want to get rid of cash? And probably they do. And that's very bad, right? Because CBDCs are going to be the same thing pretty much as what we have now. It's just going to be blockchain technology. Like, the digital dollar is already here, folks. They completely know where it all goes. Like, it's all on the ledger, whatever. The thing is that it's a little bit harder to track, and also everyone has the ability to get into cash if they want privacy. It's that people have the ability to get into cash. Now, if they lose that ability, then that's not good. Elvis says, probably wait for whales to get out and he'll reward the ones who truly believe in HEX. Yeah. Well, it could be whales, but it could also be the whales stay in. I mean, I don't know if the whales are going to... Usually the whales aren't like the biggest dumpers, because the whales are already rich. They don't need to dump. They're just trying to up their net worth. Wow. Bitcoin, 21,139, 21. Wow. Look at this. Looks like we're really headed for the 20K. 20K in prey. This is probably all Silvergate Bank news. Let's go to the 4-hour for HEX. $0.057 HEX. HEX is not dumping as bad for now. But yeah, we're going under 21,000. It's looking like. Crypto J, lower price. BEP4, trust me, you do not want to be stuck with no ledger by the time bull run comes around, especially if you hold Richard coins that will pump massively. Yeah, if you look at right now, also hackers aren't going to go after your wallet because you're probably not big, right? You might think, oh, I'm not big, it doesn't matter. Like, they wouldn't care about my wallet, but that doesn't mean that soon you'll be big, right? Like, very quickly you can be a very big holder, and then they'll go after. Just, yeah, well, there's no reason not to get a wallet. It's freaking like $60 or $70. People are putting hundreds and thousands of dollars into crypto. You may as well put some money into the ledger. And yeah, go support me with clicking my link. But why not have a ledger? I mean, why not have it? Why have it online? Crypto J says, I meant lower prices, not slower, but yeah. If it comes out as at a lower price and you buy PHEX, then it does go to parity. It would be a good move. Yeah, whichever one is lower at launch. If you buy the one that's lower at launch and there's a parity bonding, then whichever one you bought, then the lower one that you bought is definitely going to go up, and the higher one's going to go down. So they'll meet in the middle, and then they will move together, right? So you start with the lower one and the higher one. Then there's the liquidity bonding, so it gets arbed. The lower one goes higher, and the higher one goes lower. And then they move together. That is parity, folks. Bitcoin is headed to fill the CME gap at about 19,900. I'm not so into that CME gap kind of thing, but it could very easily go into 19,900. The more money you have in your wallet, the more precaution you should take. Yeah. What's up, Phil Hammer? Elvis, his ledger is still sitting in the drawer. Which drawer? No, I'm kidding. AK, when V3, sir? March is about to be over too. What do you mean? It's only the 9th. We got time. Abit said days, so I'm going to say days away. 85 people watching. If you're enjoying the stream, be sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Consider booking a one-on-one. Link is in the description. Wow. 21.59. Looks like we wicked under 21. Some crazy volume going on as well. Zoom in there. Yeah, we're definitely going to 20. We haven't had something like this in a very long time. And HEX is dumping too. 5.5 cents. 5.5 cents. Wow. It looks like we should be expecting a lot of volatility in the coming days. AK says, what's your conservative HEX top for the next bull? I think it could go very high. Are you talking about the combination of both EHEX and PHEX? Probably like over 2. Conservative. I think it's going higher though. I think here's the thing, right? You see how price predictions move. When the market is bearish, everyone has low price predictions. So you see everyone saying like $1.20 HEX or like $1.40 or like $1.90. And then the price starts going up. Like when we were at 7 cents, people were going to like the $10, $12. And you'll see once HEX hits over $1, people are going to be saying $20, $30. So price predictions move with the markets. So what's conservative now is going to be, ridiculous later. Like once HEX hits $1, people are going to be like, "You crazy? $2 top." So it doesn't really mean anything. I think HEX is going over. I think it's going to maybe $5. I don't know. I think it could go to $5 to $10. That definitely wouldn't be crazy. Why are people asking conservative? What about my what about my what's the opposite? My Moon Boy prediction. What about $30? How about that? $30 HEX. Start counting your bag and multiplying it by 30 and see how much money you're going to be worth. No, I'm kidding. 30 is a bit much, guys. 30 is a bit much, in my non-financial advice opinion. Instant force parity would cause less uncertainty, favor the stakers, and it would help with the listing of HEX price on price websites. No. Why would it favor the stakers? Why would an instant parity favor the stakers? Huh? The stakers, what is the uncertainty? Uncertainty is bad for the traders. The stakers aren't selling for 15 years. If you're not selling for 15 years, what do you care if there's no parity or parity? Like, you'll worry about that when your stakes come up. Brazology says Bitcoin goes down, so does HEX. Bitcoin goes up, so does HEX. Sometimes, I don't know. Johnny Chaos said no. And if you look at the chart, they're very different, right? But we're definitely not going a dollar HEX when Bitcoin's in the teens. That I certainly don't think. HEX Fire says $100 too conservative. All I see is more opportunity to buy more Hedron, HEX, and Icosa. James Shin says $30. Is it too late to buy? What's going on with the HEX price now? It's nice to see something. It's nice to see some action, albeit it's the downside. It's at least we're getting something. What is your take on liquid loans? Mr. AK, do you think that liquid loans is going to outperform Pulsechain? Because yeah, I'm saying I think it might be a solid project. It might even do well, but I don't think it's going to do as well as Pulsechain. And Brazology says Texan tokens doing a massive rally. And I don't think Texan is going to do as well as HEX. But yeah. It's interesting. So yeah, it's a matter of your capital. It's like you have to allocate it, and you want to allocate it into the best assets, to the ones you think are going to perform the highest. And if you put it into liquid loans, then that money's not going into HEX. So like if you're already like some rich dude and you're just down to play around, like, yeah, just throw some money at liquid loans, throw some money at everything. Why not? But if you're not, then where you put significant money matters. And the future performance, could really decide whether or not you are going to retire early, kind of thing. So if, like, let's say you put half your money into like these projects building on Pulsechain, that could really hinder your future financial prospects. But like if you're a lot of these like OGs, like Abit, for example, and I love Abit, like he dabbles in all these projects, and that makes sense for him, right? Because he's an OG, he's a day one Hexkin, so like he could throw a little bit of money into liquid loans or into Power City or like one of those things, and just watch it, and it's kind of just like intellectual curiosity. He's got so many T-shares. But I'm not Abit. I have a different situation. People don't understand how rare it is to find these projects. Even if these things are legitimate projects, to find these projects with such sound tokenomics, and the founder not only not being a scammer, because I don't think the liquid loans guys are scammers, but like to just be in it, not like just for glory and bragging rights. That's so big. It's crazy. Like most of these people making tokens, I'm not going to speak for each one specifically, but they're in it to make money. So they have heavy bags. Often they get pre-allocations. So that's not to say it can't do well, but the opportunity of getting in on a founder that's in it for the glory, right? The opportunity of getting in on a project with a founder that's in it for the glory in its first or second cycle, you're going to pass up some serious capital to just go play the casino. I think you're out of your mind, in my non-financial advice opinion. That's really why I don't talk about other projects. It's not blind loyalty. It's just common sense. It's common sense, guys. It's common sense. It's common sense that these other tokens are probably not going to do well. Now, I think that the liquid loans project, I think it's going to be very good for the founders, right? They raised millions in sacrifice in stable coins, which means they could completely cash it out. There's no worry about liquidity. So it's a great opportunity for the people working at these projects. It's for them to make tons of money. They probably already made life-changing wealth. And then they get either pre-allocation or they have the tokens that they sacrifice, whatever it is. Amazing. More money out of thin air. But for you, the investor, not necessarily the best opportunity. And that's not to dunk on, people behind a particular project. You have to do your own research and see. Maybe you personally believe that liquid loans is really that 10,000x opportunity. And I always say that liquid loans they are very transparent. What makes me sick are those people that, go around anonymously and asking you to sacrifice for their projects and nobody knows who they are or where they come from. That is disgusting. But, liquid loans has been doing it. They've been very transparent with their identities, with the project allocation. They've been very engaging in the Telegram. So, I mean, they have been better than most, but still, nevertheless, is that a better place to put your money? I don't think so. And then AK saying, did you know that the God whale sacked for liquid loans? Yes. And again, the God whale has that FU money. You could just throw money at things. Doesn't matter. Right. So the God whale situation, he doesn't care. Like, it's just sort of intellectual curiosity. That's the way to look at it. Like Conrad Zen said before he went off and made his own project, he said you can't afford to diversify if you're not wealthy, and that's true. And I'm living by that. And then, interestingly enough, after saying all those great things, he went on and made his own project, which God bless him. But that is a little bit hypocritical if he still believes what he said about HEX to be true, unless his opinion changed. Maybe he just discovered something about HEX that it's not as good as he said it was. But if you're not wealthy, it's probably a big mistake to look into these other projects as opposed to looking to HEX, based on my research, right? And then Red Squirrel says, with liquid loans, it's not about the X's of the loan token. I mean, for the sacrificers, it is. They want it. They want mad gains from it. So it is. Oh, AK says, using the liquid loans protocol to never sell PLS. I think everyone's like all or nothing on this also. And you guys could book a free one-on-one in the description. Everyone's like all or nothing. Like, I'm going to put my pulse into there. I think, first of all, if you don't have a lot of money, you shouldn't be getting leveraged. You risk losing your position. If your pulse chain does like a 10,000x and then does a correction or whatever, and you have tens of millions and hundreds of millions of dollars that you can lock up some of it, some amount to let's say you have $100 million and you could lock up 5 million and extract 500,000. That's definitely something interesting and something to look at. But if you have like $20,000, you should not be getting leverage in Pulse. You should not be getting leverage because you could get stomped out, and then there's no more Pulse, right? You probably took a loan to use the money to spend something. You needed liquidity, so you spent that liquidity. And if you get liquidated, then you can't buy back in, and the price could run away from you. And then everyone's driving Lambos and at the HEX meetups, and you're a broke pleb. So it's definitely something that you can implement into your strategy, but it should not be a big percentage. And interestingly, HEX is supposed to be a community about against leverage trading. And when you're using liquid loans, you are getting leveraged. And again, this is not borrowing against your Berkshire Hathaway. It's borrowing against something very volatile. It's very risky. We all have drunk moments. Yeah, and I also sacked little for liquid loans. And that was back when I had a lot of money because we were in a bull market. So I just threw some. But I'm not buying any, and I didn't sack for Power City, and I'm only buying Pulsechain when it comes out. So watch the real God will scam wick the price down to liquidate people in liquid loans and then buy a discount for running everyone's money. I don't think he's going to do that. It's not his type. He's not that kind of person. He's been very benevolent. And if there's anything good about the future of liquid loans, it would be that the God whale bought into it. I think that's definitely very good. You want whales. You want buy-in from whales because whales don't need to sell. It's the plebs that need to sell. 21,040. HEX still at 5.5. It's more fun to watch Bitcoin because it actually moves up and down a lot. HEX has low liquidity. AZTRO, just stake and bake and learn to be happy. It's more than enough. Yes. AZTRO 369, just saying any big bag holder or PLS can borrow. Yeah, I think it's definitely something to implement. It's definitely a interesting thing that you have this ability to trustlessly borrow against your crypto. So definitely, if you're a whale, it can be implemented, but definitely, if you're not a whale, just go get a job if you need money, right? If you have $10,000 in Pulse and you need 1,000, right? You want to be safe with it's dude, there's so many ways to get $1,000. Can work for 2 weeks, you'll have $1,000, okay? Instead of risking your bag. We got 99 people watching. If you're enjoying the stream, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Patreon. We got awesome stuff. We got Discord, weekly Zoom meetups. We discuss things that are going on in the ecosystem and broader markets. We got discounts on one-on-ones, massive ones. You have access to my portfolio allocation, which will be posted, I think, today's Thursday, so tomorrow. We also have exclusive videos and courses, live and recorded. So get in the Patreon or go book a free one-on-one with me, furufinance.com. Links in the description as well. Okay, so this is Archie S. asks a question. With liquid loans, it's self-balancing. Even if you are liquidated, you still have the loan money. You can always buy back the PLS. That's not true, Mr. Archie S. Because if you're taking out a loan, right, you want cash because you need to spend the cash. So you take out the cash and you spend it on groceries, or you spend it on vacation, or you spend it on flowers for your girlfriend, and then you no longer have the cash to buy back the PLS. Maybe you can get it back somehow, working, whatever, but probably not immediately. So you risk losing your position in PLS because you took out a loan. That's what it means to get liquidated. Yeah. I mean, if you're not spending the money, then why are you taking the loan, right? Why are you taking out a loan if you're not going to use it? If you don't need the money, you shouldn't be taking out a loan. If you take out a loan, you need the money. And if you need the money, you spend the money. If you spend the money, you don't have money to buy back your PLS. Archie, you don't just borrow to hold the stable while, yeah, exactly. So you either do something stupid like you get leverage and you buy more PLS, right? And then you could completely lose everything. See, if you get leverage to buy more PLS, then not only do you lose everything if you're liquidated, but you don't even have the cash to like spend on goods and services. So yeah. Definitely be careful when it comes to liquid loans. It's not like a simple play like Hall. And also, by the way, they say you avoid taxes. Liquidation is a taxable event. Liquidation is a taxable event. Red Squirrel says, well, I'm out. Enough of this. Hey, don't leave. The point is you still have the loan monies. You can lose your position, but you still have the cash. Yeah, so you lose your position if the price goes up a lot, which you probably believe it will. You can miss the train. And yeah, over collateralize. Yeah, I guess, but are you over? But like, what's over collateralizing like that? Then you're not getting much money, or you have to have a ton of money. And it's freaking crypto, dude. It crashes 97%. 97%. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you could definitely implement it. I just think it's stupid if you don't have a lot of money and if you're putting all your money in there. I'm just saying. But definitely, I agree. You can be sensible. You can take a small percentage of your large sum and definitely implement some sort of liquid loans thing. But a lot of people are talking like it's the be all end all and it's such an obvious play. It's not a simple play. You're not Warren Buffett borrowing against your Berkshire Hathaway shares. Yeah. Also, by the way, with that, you like Warren Buffett, first of all, like let's say he gets leveraged, like Berkshire is not crashing 90%. S&P 500 is not crashing 90%. The last time that had happened was the Great Depression. Very unlikely to happen, especially since they've added regulation and there's a Fed money printer now. So it's pretty much not going to happen with your crypto. And also, even like if there's a margin call, you have like your broker calls you up and make sure it's like this is just boom, your money's gone. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, we got 91 watching. If you're enjoying the stream, make sure you like and subscribe. And make sure you go to furufinance.com, book a free one-on-one today. Consider joining the Patreon. Not much else going on. I think that's that for liquid loans. And hope you guys enjoyed the show. Again, hit the like button. It helps me out. Subscribe to the channel. And follow me on Twitter at Furu Finance. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time for another great episode. Have a great rest of your day.